At 70 miles per hour, the death of an engine is not loud. It is not an explosion. It is a sudden, sickening loss of momentum followed by the sound of metal eating metal. A rhythmic knocking that signifies the end of a $60,000 investment. This isn't a random anomaly. This is the V35A FTS disaster. A catastrophic engineering oversight that has turned the legendary Toyota reliability myth into a graveyard of seized crankshafts and spun bearings. We are looking at a crime scene that spans over 100,000 units, specifically the 2022 and 2023 Toyota Tundra and Lexus LX600 models. The victim is not just the engine block. It is the trust of every consumer who paid the Toyota tax expecting a vehicle that would last 1 million miles. Instead, they bought a ticking time bomb. Let's dissect the body. The heart of the issue lies deep within the bottom end of the 3.4-liter twin-turbo V6. This was the engine chosen to replace the immortal 5.7-liter V8, the 3URFE, a legend known for doing 500,000 miles with basic maintenance. The V35A was supposed to be the future, more torque, better efficiency, modern tech. But the autopsy reveals a fatal flaw introduced before the engine even left the Alabama plant. The official narrative from Toyota, released in recall documents submitted to the NHTSA, claims that machining debris was left inside the engine block during the manufacturing process. Metal shavings. In a precision engine with tolerances measured in microns, debris is not just dirt, it is a bullet. When the engine runs, this debris doesn't just sit in the oil pan. It circulates. It bypasses the filter during cold starts or high pressure, finding its way to the most critical, high-stress component of the entire assembly: the main bearings. Once that debris wedges itself between the bearing and the crankshaft journal, the oil film is pierced. Friction spikes. Heat builds instantly. The bearing seizes to the crank, and the engine locks up. Game over. But here is where the investigation turns dark. This isn't just about dirty factories. This is about a fundamental betrayal of quality control standards that were once the envy of the world. We have uncovered internal patterns suggesting that Toyota engineers were fighting a losing battle against EPA mandates and cost-cutting measures. Simultaneously, the switch to the V6 platform required higher pressures, tighter tolerances, and forced induction to match the V8's output. This increased stress on the main bearings exponentially. Now, look at the timeline. The first reports of engine failures began surfacing on forums and NHTSA complaints almost immediately after the launch of the third generation Tundra. Owners with less than 5,000 miles were finding their trucks dead on the highway. Toyota initially handled this quietly. Dealerships were instructed to replace short blocks, a repair bill that would cost an out-of-warranty owner upwards of $30,000. $30,000 for an engine replacement on a truck that is practically brand new. It wasn't until Safety Recall 24 V381 was finally acknowledged that the scope of this disaster became public. They admitted that approximately 102,000 vehicles were involved. But read the fine print of the remedy. For months, there was no remedy. The official statement was remedy currently under development. Translation: We don't know how to fix this without bankrupting the division. Replacing 100,000 engines is a logistical nightmare that costs billions. So they waited. They analyzed the data, hoping it was a bad batch. But the forensic data suggests otherwise. This implies a systemic failure in the cleaning process of the blocks, or perhaps a design flaw in the oil galleries that traps debris rather than flushing it. If it were merely debris, a flush might work. But they aren't flushing engines. They are replacing them. That is the smoking gun. You do not replace an entire engine unless the damage is structural and inevitable. The betrayal goes deeper than the mechanical failure. It is the silence. For months, Tundra owners drove their trucks not knowing if the next acceleration would be their last. They were towing boats, hauling families, driving in remote locations where a seized engine isn't just an inconvenience, it's a survival situation. And all the while, Toyota continued to sell the trucks. They continued to market the iForce Max as the pinnacle of power, while service bays were filling up with solar octane and lunar rock paperweights. The recall specifically mentions that the debris causes engine knocking, engine rough running, engine no start, or a loss of motive power. Loss of motive power is the sanitized corporate term for your truck will die in the middle of an intersection. We need to talk about the hybrid models. Interestingly, the recall initially excluded the hybrids. Why? Did they use different blocks? No. The logic was that the hybrid system could ostensibly allow the driver to limp the vehicle to the side of the road using electric power even if the gas engine seized. That is not a safety feature, that is a loophole. It acknowledges the failure is likely but assumes the electric motor prevents the immediate catastrophe of a total stall. It's a gamble with consumer safety. Now, look at the resale value. The verdict on the market is swift and brutal. The third-generation Tundra, once commanding markups over MSRP, is now sitting on lots. The used market is flooded with 2022 models with low mileage. Why would someone trade in a dream truck with 10,000 miles? Because they know. They heard the knock. Or they saw the forums. They are exiting the burning building before the roof collapses. The forensic evidence of the market shows a sharp decline in residual values for this specific generation. A direct contrast to the older V8 models which are now appreciating. That is the ultimate indictment. The old technology is now worth more than the new technology because the old technology works. The V35A disaster is not just a recall, it is a reputational shear point. It broke the line of trust. When you buy a Fiat or a Range Rover, you sign a mental contract accepting unreliability for style or performance. When you buy a Tundra TRD Pro, you are buying certainty. You are paying for the guarantee that you will get home. Toyota broke that contract. The fix, replacing the engine, is a major surgical procedure. It involves lifting the cab off the chassis. It involves disconnecting every wire, every hose, every sensor. When a technician at a dealership rushes to beat the book time on an engine swap, do you think the factory-level assembly quality is maintained? Loose ground wires, pinched hoses, scratched paint. The truck you get back is not the truck you bought. It is a refurbished patient that will never be quite the same. This is the reality of the recall. It is not a clean reset. It is a salvage operation. And what about the wastegate issues? That's a separate dossier, but it compounds the verdict. Electronic wastegate actuators failing, requiring turbo replacement. To replace the turbos, you often have to pull the cab. The labor hours are astronomical. The engineering complexity of the V35A has made it a nightmare to service. The V8 starter motor was under the exhaust manifold, annoying but doable. The V35A starter? Buried. The alternator? Buried. This engine was designed for assembly ease on the robotics line, not for longevity or serviceability in the real world. This is the hallmark of modern disposable engineering, and seeing it from Toyota is the final nail in the coffin. The defense rests, but the jury, the owners, are furious. They are stuck with trucks they can't trust and can't sell without taking a massive loss. The debris excuse might cover the legal liability, but it doesn't cover the engineering arrogance that led to abandoning a proven platform for a complex stress. Fragile power plant without adequate validation. The V35A didn't just fail, it shattered the image of the invincible Toyota truck. It is over. The era of blind faith in the badge is gone. You are now just another consumer checking VIN numbers, hoping you didn't buy Grenade.